Hey friends, I'm Key from Travel Made Personal, and today I'm going to tell you all about the third stop on our Alabama road trip. Last week, in my Alabama road trip video, I talked about the Lake Jackson Mounds Archaeological State Park. About 2 hours northwest of there is Bethlehem Primitive Baptist Church and Cemetery. We visited the cemetery for personal reasons. Dusty has ancestors buried there, and their grave markers were so old and worn down that you couldn't really tell who was buried there unless you knew them. So Dusty put together updated grave markers for them to help try and preserve their memorials. Bethlehem Primitive Baptist Church Cemetery is located in Malvern, a small town in Geneva County, Alabama. This cemetery is historically associated with Bethlehem Primitive Baptist Church, which has a long tradition in the area. Malvern is a rural community in southeastern Alabama, located not far from the Florida border. The congregation had deep roots in the local area, but the church is no longer active. The Bethlehem Primitive Baptist Church is a part of the broader Primitive Baptist tradition, which has its origins in the early 19th century. Primitive Baptists emphasize a conservative approach to doctrine and practice, including a strong belief in the sovereignty of God, believers' baptism by immersion, and a commitment to a simpler, more austere form of worship. The church was established in 1874 and now has over 250 graves. Primitive Baptist churches often have close-knit congregations, and the cemetery is typically an important part of their community life, serving as the final resting place for church members and their families. The first known interment here was Robert Collins, born and died in 1865. The common families resting in the cemetery are Bell, Collins, Clark, Cook, Davidson, Ezel, Falk, Hall, Harrison, Hartzog, Henson, Holloway, Hughes, Merritt, Spivey, Tew, and Watford. Bethlehem Primitive Baptist Church Cemetery is a typical rural cemetery in Alabama. It has markers dating from the late 19th and early 20th centuries, with some graves dating back to the mid-1800s. Graves in this cemetery are generally simple, with markers made of stone or concrete. The cemetery reflects the rural and historic character of the community. Bethlehem Primitive Baptist Church and its cemetery are part of the broader cultural and historical fabric of Geneva County, Alabama. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, the community was largely agricultural, with many families involved in farming and other rural industries. Churches like Bethlehem played a central role in social and religious life, providing not only spiritual guidance but also acting as a focal point for community gatherings, celebrations, and important milestones. To find more specific information about the individuals buried at Bethlehem Primitive Baptist Church Cemetery, you may want to visit the cemetery in person, where headstones can provide insights into the names, dates, and possibly the stories of those interred, or explore local genealogy and historical societies or online resources like findagrave.com, which often have cemetery listings and photographs of headstones. This cemetery is maintained by donations. If you'd like to donate to help preserve the memorials here, please mail a check or money order to Bethlehem Cemetery Fund, Friend Bank, 220 East Lawrence Harris Highway, Slocomb, Alabama, 36375. I'll leave this address in the description as well. If you're looking for a specific individual or family, genealogical research through county archives, church records, or local historical societies can also be helpful in piecing together information about those buried at the cemetery. We planted a letterbox while we were there, so if you're into that, be sure to search for our box. We use Atlas Quest for clues to letterboxes in the places we visit. This cemetery was planned to be our first stop on the second day, as we wanted to finish business before we hit the road exploring for the day. But since we were making such good time this trip, we had a few hours of daylight left when we arrived at our hotel, so we decided to go ahead and visit this one before settling in for the night to try and save time on day 2 of the trip. We replaced 2 broken wooden stakes with new grave markers to help preserve the memorials for those ancestors. Hopefully they will hold up better than the wooden stakes did. While we were working on the new grave markers, I heard a growl that sounded like it was coming from someone or something right next to me. I immediately turned to my right, looking for a bear or some type of animal, but nothing was there. I don't spook easily, so I kind of brushed it off after a minute. Dusty didn't hear it. Could it have been a spirit? What would you do if you heard a growl in a cemetery out in the middle of nowhere? Let me know in the comments below. A lot of people find old churches and cemeteries to be spooky and stay away from them. Personally, Dusty and I find them peaceful. I love old, pretty churches and cemeteries, and I'm more afraid of the living than I am the dead. If you enjoy stopping at pretty old churches and cemeteries, this is a great one to visit. Stay tuned for my next video about a park we visited in search of another letterbox. Also, be sure to like and subscribe so you'll get notified as those videos get released. But for now, get out there and explore the world your way.